So you want to be a philosophy teacher. That's awesome. We're diving deep into this role catcher material you shared, and let me tell you, it's really got the inside scoop on what it takes to make philosophy come alive for young people. Because it's definitely more than just lecturing about Socrates.
Oh, absolutely. It's about like igniting a real curiosity. RoleCatcher talks about this whole idea of shaping futures, not just
Yeah.
teaching a subject, which is, pretty powerful when you think about it.
Shaping futures. Okay. Now, those are some high stakes. So what I'm getting from RoleCatcher is that it's about getting teenagers to not just like memorize names and dates, but to really grapple with the big questions, the why behind it all.
It's that spark, yeah, that moment when a student realizes, hold on, philosophy, this isn't just some old dusty subject. It connects to their lives, their relationships, heck, even their Instagram feed.
Okay, so how do you actually do that as a teacher? I mean, teenagers, let's be real, they've got a lot going on. RoleCatcher talks about the communication skills involved. What's their take on that?
It's about meeting them where they are,
Right.
right? It's not about lecturing AT them, but having this open dialogue. Like RoleCatcher gives this great example using a modern ethical dilemma, something like online privacy, to teach, say, Kant's categorical imperative.
Whoa, hold on, stop right there, that's brilliant. Instead of starting with Kant said, you're starting with something they're already thinking about, making it relatable.
Exactly. And that takes creativity, empathy, a little humor doesn't hurt. RoleCatcher really emphasizes understanding teenage psychology, being able to explain these complex ideas in a way that's actually engaging.
It's funny, you think philosopher, you picture someone in a quiet library, right? But RoleCatcher is painting this whole other picture, someone dynamic, adaptable, almost like a performer in a way.
Yeah, and a good philosophy teacher, they need to be comfortable with that. It's commanding attention, facilitating those discussions, knowing how to pivot when a student hits you with a curveball question.
Which, let's be honest, happens all the time with teenagers, am I right? They keep you on your toes. But speaking of challenges, RoleCatcher, they go deep on the realities of the job beyond just the classroom. And trust me, it's not all philosophical debates and Socratic seminars.
Yeah, you're right. There's definitely more to it than just those awesome classroom moments.
Right.
RoleCatcher, they don't hold back on the day-to-day, and
Yeah.
maybe a little eye-opening, I think.
It really is. It's like you go in thinking you'll be talking Plato's Republic all day, and suddenly, bam, you're drowning in lesson plans, grading papers, parent-teacher conferences, the works.
Oh, tell me about it. And that's just the start.
Right.
Remember those communication skills we talked about?
Yeah.
They're super important when you're dealing with colleagues, administrators, even the school board sometimes.
It's like this whole other level of philosophy. Like we're talking applied ethics, navigating the school system, and RoleCatcher even talks about advocating for your philosophy program. Like you might have to justify its existence to people who are all about STEM.
Oh, absolutely. You might find yourself explaining critical thinking to someone who just thinks philosophy is like, I don't know, some useless abstract thing.
Totally. It's like, no, this is important stuff.
But that's where your passion comes in.
Exactly. Exactly. You have to really sell it. And I think RoleCatcher gives you some good arguments for that. Like they talk about studies showing how philosophy helps students with analytical reasoning, writing skills, even their performance in other subjects.
It shows how it all connects, how philosophy isn't just this thing off on its own.
Right.
It gives students tools they can use anywhere.
Okay, but RoleCatcher is also real about the tough parts. It's not all sunshine and roses. They talk about the emotional side of it. Helping students through tough times, dealing with burnout, even questioning your own philosophical beliefs.
Yeah, teaching philosophy isn't just about, spitting out information.
Right.
It's about connecting with these young minds that
Yeah.
are still developing, and that can be really demanding,
For sure.
both intellectually and emotionally.
It's like empathy and being self-aware are just as important as knowing all the theories when you're in the thick of it. You're a role model, a mentor,
Absolutely.
and sometimes even a confidant.
And those connections you build, the impact you have, I think that's where the real reward is.
100%. But let's not forget the practical stuff, like how much you can expect to earn. RoleCatcher doesn't shy away from that either.
It's true. You need to know what you're getting into, and they have some good tips on things like salary negotiation, finding grants, even side gigs that use your skills.
It's all about balance, following your passion, but also being realistic, right?
Yeah.
But even with all that, reading RoleCatcher, it's obvious this job attracts a certain type of person. You have to be a deep thinker and D, a good communicator, up for a challenge, and get excited by those aha moments.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So speaking of those moments,
Yeah.
let's talk about you. What are you good at? What excites you about this career path? What gets you fired up about this? What are you bringing to the table? And RoleCatcher lays out a good roadmap, I think.
And I love how they don't just say, be good at communication.
Right.
They actually break it down.
Yeah.
You're like active listening, public speaking, even how to write well, because,
Oh, yeah.
grading those essays, that's part of the job.
It's real. And connecting with different learning styles, which makes sense, right? Not everyone wants to sit through a 2-hour lecture on, like, Nietzsche.
Totally. RoleCatcher even talks about using multimedia debates, even role-playing,
Fun.
to make these ideas come alive.
Right.
Like, imagine your classroom, they're putting on the trial of Socrates.
Sign me up. That's the class I wish I had. But it shows the creativity, again, that RoleCatcher's talking about.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just it's how you teach it, bringing your own thing to it.
Exactly. And that's where knowing yourself comes in. RoleCatcher actually says, think about your own journey with philosophy.
Interesting.
What were those aha moments for you?
Mm.
Which thinkers really got you thinking?
Right.
Because that tells you what kind of teacher you'll be.
I love that. It's like your passion is what fuels it all. Okay, but passion's not enough. How do you actually get started? What does RoleCatcher say about breaking into the field?
Oh, they have a whole thing about professional development. And networking's huge, like going to conferences, joining groups like the National Council for the Social Studies, even making a teaching portfolio so you can show off your lesson plans, your teaching philosophy, all that.
It's like your philosophy resume.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And don't discount mentorship. Reach out to teachers, maybe even shadow someone.
Oh, smart.
It's so valuable.
Those are the things you can't learn from a book, right?
Right. And never stop learning yourself.
Right.
RoleCatcher reminds us, philosophy's always changing. Stay curious. Find those new ideas.
Keep it fresh.
And bring that energy to the classroom.
So it's not just teaching, it's learning right alongside them. So we've covered a lot, and if you're feeling that pull, to share your love of philosophy with the next generation, don't ignore it. Take that leap, do your research, and hey, maybe you'll be the one sparking that love of wisdom in a future philosopher out there.